The Hope Centre comprises of an organisation that tries to bring hope to our community.
It's really a unique charity. It takes a holistic approach at looking at a person's life and how hope can be built into that life.
It's one of a few organisations that are in the city who are doing their bit to address poverty.
So many people are struggling with the cost of living, and this is one service that gives a little bit of light and hope to people who are seeking that support.
People could come here and for very little money, and if not nothing, be able to, get food.
Which is fantastic for people like me and other families who are struggling in the Illawarra.
We're taking on the essence of being a hub, so people can come here, they can get food, they can get training, they can help in other areas.
You can come here and learn new skills. You can offer to volunteer.
There's always something going on, there's always something to do, someone to help out.
It's about people, it's about serving, it's about loving, it's about bringing healing to those that are hurting.
It's not just a food outlet, but also it's got a real great community feel about it.
What they're doing is absolutely wonderful. They've just put their heart and soul into it.
Everyone walks through their doors and go, oh wow, this is great.
You can just get that very strong sense of hope being generated everywhere you look.
A lot of the times people just want to be cared for and loved. There's a lot of lonely people out there, people that have nobody. We find a lot of people will just come in because they just want someone to notice them. And that's what we do here. We'll sit down, we'll have a cup of coffee with you, we'll talk to you. If you want to tell us your story, we're here to listen.
The clientele that actually come here is open to people in need, of course, low income earners, single parents, and people who've just been retrenched.
I got involved in the Food Hub through a friend who told me about this place that is for families who are struggling, where you can come and purchase food for a discounted price, and also you can receive fruit and veg for free and free bread also.
That's a really good way of having people access a lot of good healthy food, and through that they can buy a bag of food.
We ask for a donation for those that are able to contribute towards that. That just covers our running costs. For those people that aren't able to donate anything, everything is free.
If someone comes and they need food, they get a food voucher which entitles them to a full shop, which is a grocery bag, a fruit and vegetable box, bread and cakes and any free items.
Before we came to the Food Hub, we were literally eating more tin food, 2-minute noodles, and just cheaper items because meat is very expensive.
As you can see in the supermarket, there's a huge range of a whole bunch of different products. There's dairy, there's meat, there's some food's got limits on it.
The Food Hub has changed my life. I get a free box of fruit and veg every week for my children, myself and my husband.
Being here, seeing all the different types of people and families that come in, you can tell those that have had it worse than others, and you can always tell they feel welcomed in this place.
It's not a charity that's handing over things, it's a supermarket that people can experience in a real and meaningful way without their dignity being compromised.
At the Food Hub we have a lot of families who come in and they really appreciate the fruit and vegetables. Their children just love the fruit and vegetables, and one lady said to me the other day, she said, I love it because I don't now have to say, no, you can only have one piece of fruit. She said, by coming here I can allow them to have as many pieces of fruit as they want.
The Hope Centre really is a treasure for the local region. So many organisations partner with it.
Now that they are banding together and they are engaged with a diversity of organisations. The Food Hub is exactly that, a hub that services many groups.
So many organisations bring their clients here, whether they be a government agency or another charity.
We also donate to other organisations as well. For example, we donate to the Vinnie's Breakfast Program and also to the Cringilla Public School Breakfast Program as well.
We feed around 400 students in high schools, and the Food Hub allows us to come down here and buy our food at cost price, and we get our eggs for $1 a dozen, we get all our bread for nothing, and we also get all our fruit and vegetables for nothing. You would be amazed when you're working in the schools how many children don't eat fruit. So I'm taking in, because of the Food Hub, a variety of different types of fruit, like mangoes. Some kids have never seen mangoes before. The program's really giving a breakfast like they've never had before. I know that I'm going to start off on Monday, and each school is going to be able to have an abundance of food, and I don't have to say no to one child that needs breakfast. Not only are we feeding students, but we are actually creating a family-like environment for the students to be able to come and chill out, relax, feel welcomed, and know that we're there because we really care about them.
It's a great thing to be able to be an answer, to help people, and we see some fantastic results.
We actually purchase 70% of our food.
A lot of people just think we're federally funded. They think the building's free. It's not. It's really, really difficult.
The other 30% is kindly donated from Woolworths and Coles and Second Bite, IGA, and our food rescue, food that's actually pre-cooked, comes from Kembla Grange Racecourse and also Wynn Stadium, and we repackage that food, and all that food's given out to people in need. There's no charge involved, and there's some beautifully cooked meals there that normally would end up in the bin.
One of the really important factors about the Hope Centre, it's not only helping people, it's also helping the environment.
We have a big problem in our city, in as much that we need to manage our landfill, our putrescible waste. So many tens of thousands of tonnes of food is normally sent to landfill every year.
Every year there's over $1 million spent in dumping food waste, which we save, and it's distributed back into the community.
This was one means by which we could save both council and the lives of others, enrich the lives of others with good, healthy food that should never have been thrown out. And as far as I was concerned, this is a win-win situation.
Food waste that could otherwise be used is not going into landfill, but is going onto the tables and plates of needy families around our region.
Once our product is gone through and they distribute the food to their customers, we've got a couple of farmers, John and Jack, and they come down and take the stock away, and they'll give us cattle, they'll give us sheep, and they'll be slaughtered and pick them up from a butcher shop, and we'll put that back through welfare meals as well. So nothing's wasted. Our waste is probably down to less than 3%.
When I was a young person, I used to be involved with what was known as the Smith Family Food Drive, and that was collecting cans of food to redistribute to people in need. So it's always been part of my life and my ethos, not to waste, and where there is an opportunity to share the resources of our community and the blessings of living in this wonderful land of Australia.
I came out to Australia when I was 4 years of age, and I came back from very humble beginnings. When we arrived in Australia, there was nothing like the Illawarra Food Hub, so Mum and Dad had to scrape and try to save and try to get food, but it was very hard growing up, and I did grow up with a very violent father, so I've experienced quite a horrific background in my childhood. I was a single parent for 11 years. I raised 2 children on my own. It was really difficult to try to put food on that table. I used to clean houses or tried everything I could to be able to to feed my children and to clothe them. About 20 years ago, I encountered Jesus. That was the beginning of a real change for my life. It was a spiritual encounter. The Lord came to me actually in my bedroom. I was crying out in desperation one night because I had no direction in life. And I felt that the Lord was there in the bedroom. Shortly after that, I received a phone call from a lady, and she said to me, "Gally, I had a dream about you and the Lord's calling you." But I rejected that because I knew that she was a born-again Christian. I said, I don't want to get involved with that scene. 5 years went by and she rang me up again, and I was desperate. I was at a stage where I was suicidal. And this time I didn't reject the message. She said, "Gally, I had the same dream I had 5 years ago. God is calling you." This time I said, "Where is he? I need him." And she took me to a church conference, and there was an altar call. And they said, if anyone doesn't know Jesus Christ and they feel that they need something in their life, come forward. And I ran to the front. And in desperation, I said to the pastor, "Please help me. Please help me. I don't know what to do anymore." And he looked at me. He said, "It's going to be all right." And I prayed a prayer which changed the rest of my life. I invited Jesus into my life, and I felt such a peace. And that's why the Hope Centre exists, because of him. The Hope Centre started in 2007, but it was actually commenced back in 1997.
Interesting story, but Gally and I were actually pastors at a church at Thrill. We had great success with helping people, and we're helping people in addictions and so forth. And at one stage there, we thought we'd like to start up a rehabilitation centre. So it got to the point where I said to my wife, I said, like Peter in the boat, get out of the boat, walk on the water sort of thing. And so we left the church with the blessings, and we came down to Warrawong because it's one of the hardest areas in Illawarra.
The Illawarra Food Hub, previously known as the Food Barn, started in our house. So we would actually bring people home that were in need. Then we thought, we've outgrown the house now, we've got no space.
The food was a secondary thing. So what actually happened was that I was coming home from our minister's breakfast one morning.
We were driving through Berkeley and Jeff noticed a sign for shops for lease.
I rang an agent and I said, "I've got no money, I need a rent-free shop."
So we prayed and just believed that we were going to get it. And sure enough, the agent sent us down the key for the shop, a 90 square metre shop, with no money. We didn't have to pay anything, it was all free of charge. Now we had that shop for 2.5 years and we never met the agent.
We didn't have any money to start with, and a gentleman gave us a couple of shipping containers which we sold, and we bought our first lot of food. It was a really big challenge because we had to take the freezers out of the shop, little chest freezers, go to Sydney, fill them up, go to a survey, put ice in them. Any extra stuff used to be on the back seat of the car, and Gally used to sit there with a scarf and a beanie on and the air conditioning cranked up really cold, trying to keep product chilled.
So I'd be all rugged up and I'd be freezing and shivering all the way back from Sydney. But it was worth it, we got the food down.
We came back, we'd empty the trailer out, put the freezers back in the store, fill them back up again for opening.
That's how the Illawarra Food Hub started. Woolworths donated an $85,000 Mercedes-Benz van to us, and it was so exciting for us. It was the beginning of something big for us. And we also purchased another identical van and we were paying that off. Within a 3-month period, someone jumped the fence and torched both of them. And we didn't even have a van to pick up our stock in. But the community came together once it was on the news and it was in the paper, and people donated their utes and people started to help. It was so good to see the community come together to help those people in need.
The next challenge was obviously to get our own facility, which we bought the old church building in Warrawong. And we decided how are we going to finance this?
So we decided, well, we're going to mortgage our home.
That kept us focused. It says everything's on the line, and bought that building, and we had 2 operating at that stage.
Then we outgrew that, so in faith we came to the present location, and they told us we couldn't have it because we didn't have enough money, but we just really felt the Lord said, no, that's yours.
We moved about 58 tonnes of food through the back dock every week. We've got over 200 pallets of stock and reserve out the back there, and we're bursting at the seams now. We've been fortunate enough to secure some funding, an EPA grant, which was administered through IPJO. IPJO is a joint councils. We've been able to get different Lord Mayors together. We've been able to get support from them for funding.
It was seeding funding, that is, to boost it up to a level whereby it could also service other organisations that are out there working in the community.
And I think that the general population really appreciate seeing councils coordinate, operate together for the common good. EPA are very, very happy with what we do, and we were able to facilitate such a big facility. And fortunately, we've had great associations with the government. We've had a number of government members here. We've had the Honourable Scott Morrison here, Kevin Andrews, and we've had Connie Favorati-Wells here. These people have been here to help us develop something, and they've had enough confidence and faith in us to see how we're going to do things, and they facilitated some funding for a training program.
Well, I think getting young people involved and encouraging them to reach their full potential is so important, and having that focus not just on the outreach through their food program, but also training up young people, training the next generation, giving them the incentive to have opportunity, and providing that opportunity is absolutely critical and fundamental.
The True Steel program is a training program for 18 to 26-year-olds.
They come downstairs here and we train them in the area of retail, cleaning, warehousing, and also hospitality.
The Food Hub did a course which allowed the students there to do a Cert 2 in hospitality, specifically in kitchen operations.
We assist the True Steel program with Jeff, and we provide barista, hospitality training, as well as some employability skills training as well. We've had some really great outcomes with the program over the last year. I think it's over about 80% people move on to employment or engagement with further education, so that's the benefit of providing the accredited training in the program.
We really focus on a lot of soft skills. How can we help that individual person? How can we get the goal? Let's get that person to realise they are an individual. Let's realise they've got some capabilities other people don't have.
We give them hope to be able to get a job, to be able to be given training on being able to present themselves, being able to get their resume together, being able to be work ready, being able to get an internship or work experience in different fields.
Being with the Food Hub and having additional training has helped with my confidence, at least when it comes to approaching employers for at least work in the kitchen or as a waitstaff of some kind.
Taylor was quite shy and reserved, but I've seen him come out of his shell, and he actually can run that kitchen on his own. Taylor's actually going for an interview next week for a job.
We've had students who have gone through the Hope Centre, and they've done, we have also the Wollongong College, which is a stepping stone between the training, the True Steel program, Wollongong College, and then they go to the university.
On occasion, we will have an appreciation night, and the last one that we had was a rock and roll night.
You know, it was turned into an event, and this is great. That was in-house here at the back.
We had a band. Jeff, the CEO, he plays in the band, and Although at my age I find it very, very loud and noisy, the young ones thought it was great. On the appreciation night, we just like to recognise people's accomplishments.
These kids had worked hard, and it was the equivalent, as far as I was concerned, of obtaining a degree. For them, it was a major milestone.
For a long time it's been my dream to just make food, and being at the Food Hub allows me to do that for people that are in need, and makes me feel pretty good.
These jobs that we provide for our people have really helped them emotionally and spiritually as well. It's a stepping stone for them to enter into the workplace. With our Courtney, she came to us through the Work for the Dole program.
I was living in England for 11 years and I went to uni, and then I moved back to Australia, and then a job provider referred me to the Food Hub.
She started sorting eggs. We saw the potential in her, and she was placed in the office. That led to full-time employment.
My role at the Food Hub now is Administration Officer. I do everything from admin roles, accounts and marketing.
She's been such a blessing to us. In actual fact, she's like my daughter.
Yeah, she's become part of the family as well, and it's good to be able to help someone like that into our organisation. You think, wow, that's great, it's a good fit.
What can we say about our Blake and Digger? They're amazing.
It is quite difficult to be, for people to employ people with a disability. For Digger, he never had many chances to get out in the workforce. So for him coming to the Food Hub at 45, it is just gives him so much passion to work. Blake had come to the Hope Centre to do a course, and then he was asked would he like to go down into the grocery section, and he works with his Uncle Digger down there. The boys sort out the bread rolls when they've gone outdated, crushing boxes and general duties of the Food Hub.
Digger's a really funny character. He's a real football nut. He's constantly sending me to the sin bin. Every day he sends me to the sin bin, blows the whistle, sends me off.
We get live performances from Digger, Phantom of the Opera.
That guy brings so much joy, and Blakey too.
How do you like about coming to the Food Hub? What makes you happy about it?
Yeah, really about it. But got it, he said.
So the boss, Gully and Jeff, they're your favourite people?
Yes, yeah.
They're part of our family. We love them.
Being accepted just like the next person in the workforce is just amazing. They're two happy chappies.
We've got people like Donna, who travels from Albion Park every day, gets on a bus because she wants to be here.
I found it hard to get a job. There's not much work out there, and when you got special needs with people with disabilities that won't hire us as much for whatever reason, even though we're good enough to work, this is the best place that takes people and trains you up, gets you ready for work. There's not much support out there, and that's why I enjoy coming here 4 days a week. It's the best thing.
It's her social outlet. She's befriended people that she normally wouldn't have in her life.
Every couple of months we try and go out for dinner to a club or somewhere after work.
We really do have lovely nights. We just want them to have an evening that they can forget about any worries or troubles that they might have.
I feel really good working here.
Pat's been with us for quite some time. She was with us from the beginning.
I started off doing the shelves and just volunteering, and then When we moved up here a few years later, I moved up to supervisor.
She also was a client as well, and now she volunteers here 4 days a week.
My daily duties are stacking the shelves, making sure the shelves are stacked, making sure the work for the doll people do their job. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel worth living.
Our wonderful volunteers as well that are just here because they want to be. People like Jude that's been with me for 8 years. She's my right-hand woman.
I love working at the Food Hub. As far as I'm concerned, it's not work. I did retire 2 years ago, but that lasted for about 3 weeks, I think. And then, you know, here I am back again. The joy of, at the end of the day, when somebody comes up to you and says, thank you, I don't know what I would have done without this, that really makes it worthwhile.
Gally and Jeff have been instrumental in driving the Hope Centre and the Illawarra Food Hub project, and so as such they need to be commended for their efforts.
The Community Group of the Year 2017 award is absolute recognition for the service, for what it provides, what it does for people in our region. The judges saw the work that they do and couldn't look past them, and how could you when you see not only what they've achieved but the plan that they have for the future.
Jeff and Gally are actually my heroes.
You look at the work that they've done, the investment that they've made personally and professionally to get it to where it is today. So many lives affected, so many people have been given hope, and so many lives have been changed because of their faith in action.
Gally always says that God has done this, and we know that He is the wonderful things that He does. But Jeff and Gally, I just love to give them credit. They don't like me doing it, but I just love for people to know how hard they work, and you know, their story is a wonderful story.
They're good people to work for. They're hard on you, but it's good for you. They always want what's best for you.
I really love the work that they do for some of the vulnerable learners and people within our community, and they really turn things around for some of those students.
Jeff and Gally are just amazing to the boys and the rest of the staff.
The abundance of love and giving that they've been able to give out to all the people that they help, not only the organisations that come in here to be able to buy the food at a very cheap price, but they're also supplying a quality of giving back to the community.
They are people who want to serve their community. They have a servant heart. You can see that in everything they do. Their lives are about making other people's lives better.
Nothing is a problem. If you needed help, they will help.
Jeff and Gally have done a tremendous job establishing something that you just step back and wonder how it ever came to be this good.
They're beautiful, they're honest, they're always helpful. If you have a problem at home and you want to talk to somebody, they're always here with an open door policy.
I'd say to anyone that's struggling, come. The doors are open. Come, just as you are.
No one's turned away. We have all sorts of different religions come in here. At the end of the day, people are people. Shake hands with everyone.
If I can help someone just make it in life the way that God helped me, I'm forever grateful.